Hey y'all, it's Necey Dixon. Welcome back to the YouTube. Look. Oh my gosh. Y'all, I can't. Okay. So I'm flustered because I just ran in the house straight from work and just decided to go live. So let me start over. Hey y'all, it's Necey Dixon. Welcome back to the YouTube channel. If you're new here, welcome. If you're returning, y'all, welcome back. Today we're about to talk about Real Housewives of Atlanta and Love and Marriage Huntsville. Initially, y'all know that I said I was gonna use Martha's Vineyard as the pregame, but just based on the way that my schedule has been, I haven't had time to watch Martha's Vineyard. So this week we're gonna talk about the shows that y'all really care about. We're gonna talk about Love and Marriage Huntsville, and we also gonna talk about Real Housewives of Atlanta. So to the YouTube. Right. So thank you, Harold. Hey T, hey Miss Cookie Ray, thank you for being a member. Hey Nicole, hey Kayla, hey Pooh. Okay, y'all, I have several thoughts. Let me start off with my thoughts for both of the episodes before I jump into the review. As far as Real Housewives of Atlanta, the producers is shady as fuck. Okay, the producers is shady as fuck because y'all knew good and well that Drew and Ralph weren't gonna be together much longer. Y'all was counting their motherfucking days, okay? And that's why y'all was asking her all those questions about the relationship. That's why y'all was asking Ralph, do you think this is the best y'all have ever been? Y'all messy, but I'm here for it. And then as far as Sheree and Martell and I'm gonna say that for the review. Now for Love and Marriage Huntsville, ooh, my thoughts are blended. Like, can we not get a break from Martell? And I think that's the title of the video. Can we not catch a break from Martell? For Love and Marriage Huntsville, I also want to talk to y'all about this damn tea party and how I feel about the group dynamic. So I'm gonna be on camera, off camera, some. But I think that we should go ahead and get started talking about Love and Marriage Huntsville. Let's talk about Love and Marriage Huntsville. And I forgot that I owe y'all a graphic for Real Housewives of Atlanta. So I'm gonna keep this graphic up real quick um, until I get the graphic for Real Housewives of Atlanta. Okay, number one, did you like the video? I keep saying number one. Y'all know I'm good for that. It's probably like number 12 at this point, the way I'm talking. But did y'all like the video? And did y'all share it with a friend? Because I want to get started, but I don't want to rush because y'all know we friends here. And at the beginning of the video, I try to take my time and talk to y'all about something that I've been doing since we friends. And I'm not here just to talk shit about people on reality TV, even though sometimes I feel like that's all I be doing. Okay, so y'all, for Love and Marriage Huntsville, the episode starts out. We get Tiffany and Mel, and Tiffany and Mel are having a conversation about trifling ass Martell. And I love that Melody recorded this damn conversation with her ex-husband because one of the things that irks me, y'all, is that why is it that Mel and Martell have both acknowledged that they have an ongoing court case, but as far as the rest of the friend group knows, it seems like don't nobody know that they in court. I'm like, what's going on? Like, people are confused about why their relationship seems to be so horrible right now. And I'm like, are y'all not watching the same thing we watching? Are y'all not on social media like we on social media? Like, it's pretty damn clear that Martell wants those kids, okay? It's ridiculous. Let me not say it's clear he wants the kids. Let me say that it's clear that he wants to act like he wants those damn kids. Okay, I think that's one thing that we can agree on. Um, so y'all know, Martell showed his ass down to the damn birthday party, and he was acting like he wanted to come see the daughter. Now, I really don't understand anybody who felt bad for Martell in that moment. He was not invited. Okay, he's trying to legally take custody of this woman's kids. I don't know why every time we get started talking about this show, I have to remind some people that he's actively trying to take Mel's custody. Like, are you serious? But yeah, so we find out that after he showed up to the birthday party acting like, oh, I just want to be at my kid's birthday. Why is Mel the big bad wolf? Why is Mel doing this? Mariah actually called him on the phone And he says, I'm not gonna get you I'm not gonna get you today, Mariah. I'm gonna get you Monday. And you hear Mel in the background saying, wait, what? What, Martell? And you hear her kind of laugh. And he says, yes, Mel, I'm not gonna get her until Monday. And it's kind of giving typical, y'all. It's giving typical. Same story. We done heard it all before, y'all. It's giving, you came there to try to put on a show. You came there to say hello, to do the bare minimum, and it was never about your daughter. Like I told y'all, I feel so strongly about this, y'all. Like, if it was about Mariah, he would have planned something for her birthday, or he would have had every intention on communicating with Mel in order to get Mariah. It was never about Mariah, y'all. This whole theatrical event, this whole scene that we saw was always about him making Mel look like a bad person. Y'all see how quickly he ran and told Maurice that Mel did not allow him to come to the party. You see how quickly he went and told Marceau that Tisha was even invited, but he wasn't invited. But he left out the fact of the matter that he didn't pick up his daughter after the party or have individual plans for her. So I'm kind of just like, get the fuck out of here, for real, for real. But I am glad that Mel recorded that, and I know she recorded it for her court case. So the other thing that Tiffany and Mel end up discussing is Kiki. You guys, I hate when this happens, okay? I hate whenever something comes up that I low-key don't give a fuck about. Like, to be all the way real. To be all the way real, y'all, I don't really give a fuck about Kiki and Tiffany. 1 second. I don't feel like they had a reason to ever have any beef. And Tiffany is just trying to work for her check, which I'm not mad at, y'all. I'm not mad at. So let me wind it back. When Tiffany said that she did not fool with Kiki because she can't fool with nobody who treat their family like that, I'm like, okay, cool. I didn't have a problem with it. Only because Tiffany said it with her chest. Okay. So if you are used to my channel, and if you are not new here, we friends at this point, y'all know I can appreciate somebody who says it with their chest, right? So I didn't have an issue that Tiffany said it to her. But at this point, I'm kind of just like, if both of y'all don't get the fuck off my phone, literally, that's how I feel about it at this point, because I don't really care about it. Y'all are talking about it from episode to episode, and if you don't fuck with her, you just don't fuck with her. And it's not a reason for me to continue having to talk about this in every single episode review, because it's not that serious. It's not that serious to me. So I don't really care about that. I guess this is just an ongoing beef. This is a scheme that Love and Marriage Huntsville set up to have storylines and beef outside of Mel and Martell. And they got to do what they got to do, because at some point, y'all, we're going to get tired of talking about Mel and Martell arguing, right? So Tiffany says she feels like Kiki brought her down to her level. And that's where I'm like, girl, go to sleep. Next, Mel ends up talking about, thank you. Mel ends up talking about hold on. Is this my friend? I see Jonathan Lewis. Y'all, I got a friend and we call him J Mac. When I say my friend, I mean like my friend, like in real life. And he'd be watching the videos and I will never know if it's really him, because I won't acknowledge him as his real name, Jonathan. His name is J Mac to me. So let me know if this is J Mac. I'm like, who is Lewis? But okay, whatever. Anyway, hey, Jonathan Lewis. So he said, lift my ass off. Yes, it's me. You see what I'm saying? I don't even be knowing. Like, you be on here incognito. So anyway, y'all, Mel ends up talking about this tea party that's gonna be like an etiquette thing. Now, I want to be all the way real with y'all. Okay? I want to be all the way real with y'all. Mel, I'm trying to figure out how to say it because it's not really that deep, but I'm trying to say it in a way to where y'all like are clear of what I'm saying. I don't think that it's going to be enjoyable watching Mel be strategic. Mel be strategic on this show. And I'm leading with this, y'all, because Mel is not for the bullshit on the show. You can tell. And Mel is very much in the scene, out the scene, in the scene, out the scene. Literally, when she was throwing a girl's birthday party, she was in the scene. She went and sat down at the two-seater table to speak to Tisha and Kiki, out the scene. When she showed up to the spa, she was in the scene. They started cussing. She was, okay, guys, I'm going to leave, out the scene. And now that we have this tea party thing going on, even when we're going to talk about this, but even when it came to Miss Betty confronting her, it kind of gave me the same disappointment that I got when I watched Real Housewives of Atlanta season 14 reunion. Just because everybody was just like, somebody would bring up an issue, one person be like, oh, I apologize. Next person, it's all good. I understand where you're coming from. And I'm reading y'all's comments, and I have to agree. T says, Mel is punch in, do my job, punch out. Yes. Okay. And then Harold, is it safe to say that she has outgrown this group? I think so. And the reason why I'm being like very hesitant with how I'm describing my feelings on this is because I feel like the way that we see Mel on this show is very guarded, very strategic, dare I say fake, but I don't mean that means she's a fake person. I mean that these interactions that she's having with people are not, she's not really dedicating a lot to the interactions with the people on the show. Because you know how they've done her in the past. So I don't want y'all to think it's a bad thing. It's just like, I don't know how much longer we really gonna enjoy seeing Mel interact with these people on the show, because she done had another mama cuss her out and try to put her hands on her. I think she done, talking about mamas at this point. Amber says, like, this cast is dry. You hear me, girl? Give my girl a new cast. And then Sandra said, I think she played her exit strategy. I agree 1,000%. So, yes, exactly. This is the comment. She's not doing a drama and they're not her friends. Exactly. She's not doing a drama. But I think that's fine, but I do feel like the interactions aren't really giving the way they need to. And if she's removed from this, it's going to be hard to watch the show and watch everybody interact in a way that's not authentic. That's all I'm saying. Okay, so y'all, let's move on from, we know that Mel is planning the tea party, to we see Kimmy and Maurice having a conversation. And I'm smiling and I'm lit just off this because I like actually had emotion when I was watching this scene. I thought it was so funny. My first note says Maurice acting just like his brother. Maurice is acting just like his brother, y'all. And what I mean by that, he acted very manipulative. He acted very like a smart ass. And he acted like he was the smartest person in the room and nobody knew what he was trying to do. So Kimmy's whole situation with her husband is that she needs support when it comes to disciplining Monster, right? She doesn't feel like he backs her up, and it's really hard for her to get her point across if she's telling Monster to do something and Monster Daddy just is like, that's between you and Kimmy, right? So I'm like, okay, that makes sense. And y'all, in my notes, I said that Maurice strategically misunderstands what Kimmy is saying. And I wholeheartedly believe that. I know he did. He strategically misunderstood what Kimmy was saying because he doesn't want to help her discipline his kid. And honestly, y'all, I think that he's the one who doesn't want Kimmy to discipline his kid. Because if we think beyond this, let's think back 2 seasons ago. I think at this point, when Monster was caught vaping in the bathroom, i.e. what Tiffany brought to the show, right? Kimmy didn't know shit about this. Kimmy didn't know anything about Monster vaping in the bathroom because Maurice felt like that was a situation for him and Kiowa to handle only. So, Maurice, you know that the issue is not that Kiowa, that Kimmy is misunderstanding Kiowa. The issue is that you have always kind of put Kimmy on the outskirts when it came to disciplining your child. Okay, your child. She's the bonus parent, but you make her feel bonus as though like she doesn't have the same say so that you have. So you know what you was doing. So what he did even further to upset me and my homegirls, what he did even further to upset me was he strategically misunderstood what she was saying and then called his ex-wife on the phone and said, "Hey, Kaiwa, I really just want you to talk to Kimmy because I don't think that Kimmy thinks that, or Kimmy is thinking that maybe you don't want her to discipline Monster." And y'all, I'm paraphrasing what he's saying, but he basically left the impression that maybe Kimmy felt like she wasn't an equal parent when it came to Monster. And he wanted to make it seem like it was due to some miscommunication that Kaiwa and Kimmy had in the past, when that was never the situation. But he moves so fast, he ends up trying to put Kimmy on the spot. And Kimmy's like, I don't even know why you called her, Kaiwa. I apologize. But let me tell you what's going on. I feel like Monster is not going to listen to me without the support of Maurice. Kaiwa immediately understands what Kimmy's talking about. And I want to tell y'all that I'm pretty sure Kaiwa understands, because I'm sure that Maurice used to do the same manipulation tactics to Kaiwa. So I'm like, okay, cool. Love to see it. Ex-wife, new wife, power together, because y'all know exactly what he's trying to do. However, Kimmy's patience for a Scott man and the manipulation and like, y'all, that's one thing I don't understand. Whenever you're having a conversation with somebody who strategically misunderstands, or whenever you have to try to outsmart someone in a basic ass conversation, that can be mentally exhausting. So for Kimmy to have the patience to deal with that, girl, more power to you. More power to you. So y'all, as soon as Kaiwa says that she understands where Kimmy is coming from, he immediately says, sorry to bring you into this. I'm gonna go ahead and let you go so you can get back to what you were doing. Oh, now you want to hang up. Now you don't want to keep that same energy. Okay, now that it's you that's on the spot. And yeah, y'all, like I said, it just reminded me of whenever he kept the vape situation a secret. He doesn't really want her to parent his child for whatever reason. And that's why you don't have his support, Kimmy. Just based on what I've seen on the show, because I don't know, y'all. Based on what I've seen on the show, to me, I feel like Maurice doesn't want you to discipline Monster. Okay, so we're going to move on from that. Let's go ahead and jump into Kiki and Stormy. This is another scene that I don't really care about, y'all, but I get it. Strategically, the show has to move in a direction where we're not talking about Mel and Martell every single episode. So we see Kiki and Stormy. Kiki and Stormy end up going to see a spiritual, I believe she's a shaman, and what they're doing is called Reiki. I might be saying it wrong. Apologies if I am. And Kiki is like, okay, but how does this work with the Bible? Because I don't think my pastor would be too happy. She's making cute little jokes like that or whatever. And, the shaman or the shy woman, she ends up walking around performing the exercise, and she takes like a crystal and she kind of just catches their aura. And she says to Stormy, I can tell that you have good energy. People don't always understand where you're coming from, but you have to remain positive. Stormy turns around and looks at her like, girl, you see me? And she starts crying. However, she goes over to Kiki and she tells Kiki, you need to watch your words because your words are powerful. And that's a little bit of foreshadowing, because Kiki ends up saying some stupid ass shit at the tea party and sticking her foot in her mouth. Now, when it comes to what the shaman said about Stormy does seem like a nice person, y'all. But I see a lot of red flags, okay? I see a lot of red flags. Stormy is a nice person. And when I say red flags, like, don't take this as though I'm saying she's a bad person. I'm saying red flags for me. Red flags for me. And red flags as far as how I operate with my friends. So red flag number one is that Stormy, to me, tried to get in where she fit in. I remember when she was in Madani Beauty Supply Store and she was lightweight trying to talk shit about Destiny to Mel. Mel decided to fly above and say, oh, it's cool. I just, keep your energy cool. Y'all gonna be good. Then, in the same situation, you buying this girl a Gucci purse. You telling everybody you buying her a Gucci purse because you want credibility amongst the group. And it kind of makes sense why Stormy acts the way she acts, because I think Stormy said that she was the only child. She's her mom's only daughter. And no offense to y'all only children. And don't think you off the hook just because you got a sibling that's 12 years of age gap to you. You still was probably raised as the only child. Y'all be having a funny way of moving. That can be beneficial in some settings, but for me, it's a red flag. And when I say that, I mean the only children, they are chameleons. They change depending on what groups they're around. They know how to acclimate themselves to a group, talk a certain way, act a certain way. You want the approval of a lot of people. I won't say a lot of people. You want the approval of the majority or whoever you see as the leader in a group. And that's what I get from Stormy. That was red flag number one. Red flag number two is that you are a grown ass woman and your mother is still feeling the need to vet your friends. Not only vet your friends, but also fight battles that's not necessarily hers or even battles at all. That's red flag number two. It's giving me a little bit of codependency. Your mom has always involved herself in all of your relationships. So that's why you feel like she can speak on behalf of you. So generally, whenever she said, ooh, J-Dub, no, you didn't. J-Dub said, we're chameleons? J-Dub, not you being the only child and I didn't even peep it. I can't. But hey, y'all. So it's just giving a lot of red flags. And depending on how you flip it, it could be a good thing. She's really business minded. She's been able to network her way on this show. Like, those are great traits, okay? Really good traits. But as for me and how I operate, I prefer to just see all your cards or majority of your cards, okay? Because I know all the ones you're not showing. So anyways, they end up having a heart-to-heart, and Kiki and Stormy are like, yeah, we're more similar than we are different, and that's why I understood where you were coming from, yada, 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 yada. So I'm like, okay, cool. So we move on from that scene, y'all, and we get into Martell and Maurice. Martell shares that he couldn't come to the party, as I mentioned at the beginning of the video. And my question to y'all, like I said, is why is nobody acknowledging this lawsuit, y'all? Maurice is like, man, that's tough. I'm going to pray for y'all. Like, man, I just don't understand why this is going on. And I'm just like, at this point, I would love for somebody from Love and Marriage Huntsville to answer this question for me. Do y'all not know that they were going through the lawsuit? Because I'm just astonished at why people are not understanding why Mel does not fuck with this man. I don't understand. Y'all don't know what's going on right now. And then the other thing that we get out of the scene is another Maurice Luther King speech. And Maurice is telling a speech about how he had a dog named Peaches. And he told his dog every day, don't run out in that street. He tried to tell his dog to do right. And one day, Peaches ran out in the street and got hit by a car. And he sums up his Maurice Luther King Jr. speech, and he says, that's what I'm trying to make sure don't happen to Monster. I'm just trying to make sure that day by day, we do it right. He's headed in the right direction. I don't know about y'all, but they must be leaving out the fact that their daddy was a motherfucking pastor. That their daddy was a pastor. I don't understand why y'all always get on this show and y'all be preaching. And thank you for asking, my kid. Custody battle. But yeah, y'all, I'm like, why are people not talking about it? I'm like, you did all this talking about Peaches, and then I'm like, why is he talking about Peaches? And then he sums it up and brings it around and talks about his dog. Those are good business people, y'all. People that can talk to you like that, don't trust them. People with multiple charities, nonprofits, don't trust them. Don't trust them. People trying to make money off the Black Business Expo, don't trust them. Don't do it. Okay. So, y'all, we finally get to this tea party. And when we do, everybody is dressed cute. Okay. I will say everybody's dressed cute. Tiffany, on the other hand, she just threw on a hat. But we ain't going to give Tiffany too much because she is in maternity wear. Okay. She wore a brown cardigan, a brown dress, and a black hat. It wasn't given the way it was supposed to give, but everybody else was an A+. I ain't going to do too much, Tiffany. You showed up and you argued and you was pregnant. You didn't have to do all that. Okay. But you was going to secure your spot. So anyway, y'all, Stormy ends up bringing her mom. And she says that she's bringing her mom in hopes that she'll see her and Mel's dynamic. And y'all, this is what I feel like. Now, I might be wrong. Stormy, let me know if I'm wrong. But this feels like Stormy's playing in our face a little bit. It's completely possible that Stormy and her mom have different opinions on Mel. But it's hard for me to believe that because whenever Miss Betty began to speak on Mel, Stormy jumped in to make sure that her mother was heard. So I'm kind of feeling like you playing in my face whenever you say that you brought your mom so she could see that you and Mel's dynamic was good. It kind of was giving you brought your mom and you knew it was a possibility that your mama was going to go off, but you didn't care. But it was also given the only child quality where a lot of y'all don't like conflict. A lot of only children do not like conflict because they just want to get along with everybody. They want to be amongst the majority. And that's why you're playing, I feel like you're playing in our face like you and Mel ain't got no beef. Yet your mama is speaking on your behalf. One thing I will say though, because it's not all bad on Stormy, I really do respect how at the beginning of the season, Stormy went up to Mel and wanted to ask, like, no, really, what's what, right? But when y'all squashed that, you shouldn't have let your mama show it up and talk on your behalf. I don't understand. So anyway, they end up talking and they go around the room and they're trying, yeah, exactly. It's Wanda 2.0. That's exactly what it is. Yep. And then Dee said she's playing the same passive aggressive game Tisha played with Wanda. Facts. 100,000%. There's a lot of only children on here. It's so funny. Okay, so Mel, she ends up bringing up the respectful communication, right? And basically, what is the hostess name? Her name is Mrs. Because I don't want to say her name wrong. I want to give her credit. I said her name. What was this lady's name? Oh, Miss Carol. Miss Carol. Miss Carol is the host of the class. Aren't y'all proud? I actually got a name. My goodness. I got a name who wasn't main cast. Okay, so Miss Carol is telling everybody that basically etiquette is how you make people feel around you. And when she does that, you know, Stormy like, so what you mean? Because I like to cuss. And what if I just like to cuss? What if I say I don't give a fucking beep, 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 beep? And Miss Carol is like, okay, that just means that you're lacking vocabulary. And she's like, no, I just like cuss words. And I'm like, oh my gosh. Y'all, that felt a little bit immature just in my opinion. I mean, I like to cuss too sometimes, but there's a time and a place. But it's also a TV show, and Stormy was given personality, so I ain't gonna hang on to it, right? So anyway, Nell, who is Nell Fletcher, Chris Fletcher's wife, she ended up exactly. This is the comment for me, Harold. Cursing is fine, but girl, have some couth in the etiquette class. I agree. So Nell Fletcher ends up saying, there's an energy in the room, y'all. And they're like, okay, what energy are you talking about? And she says, I'm feeling energy behind Mel and Stormy. And I'm laughing, y'all, because I'm like, this energy that you referring to is damn production in your ear saying, hey, we got to have somebody drop a dime. Can you go ahead and drop it? And you say, yeah, I'll be the one to do it. Okay. I'm so tired of people talking about some damn energy and, good and damn well that production and say, hey, when y'all go to this etiquette class, I want you to talk about this. I want you to bring up this, and you should bring up this. And that's exactly what you did now. I just feel like there's some energy. So Nell ends up bringing up this energy, and they're like, oh, okay. So Betty ends up speaking and says, I'm gonna tell you what it is that you feel. It's between me and Mel. That's exactly what it is, right? So Nell ends up saying something, y'all. I couldn't even hear because both Betty and Stormy low-key end up tag teaming. And Betty's like, okay, well, I'm gonna need you not to talk so I can go ahead and get my point across. Stormy jumps in and says to Nell, well, I just want to say this. I'm just letting you know that if you want her to speak, you're gonna have to be quiet so my mom can speak. Y'all, I was irritated like hell because I'm just confused. Where did the beef come from? Where did the rudeness come from? Nell gave you an opportunity to have this moment that you had been wanting with Mel. And then Stormy comes in to further perpetrate the bullshit that your mama was on by telling somebody to be quiet while she talks. I'm like, what the fuck are y'all on? What the fuck? I'm so confused. What are y'all on? So Betty ends up explaining, yes, there had to be some editing. Pachito rules. That's exactly right. There had to be some editing because I'm not understanding where or why this came from, right? So Betty ends up explaining her issue with Mel. Her issue with Mel is that a couple months ago, y'all, I believe it's been like a year ago at this point, there was audio of Mel saying that she didn't care who Martell was dating because Martell was dating other women when they were together, right? I don't know why this was that big of a damn deal. But apparently it was a big deal because Mel has said that same thing in interviews, but she also said it on the TV show whenever Stormy was with her. So fans started speculating, viewers started speculating that somebody recorded Mel and has shared the audio. I don't know why anybody would record her and share that audio because I feel like there's much more juicy things that could be said on audio about Martell. So I was kind of just like, yeah, whatever. So the fans took off running with it. Betty felt some type of way because Mel did not correct the fans. And whenever they found out that it wasn't Stormy, Mel followed up to her tweet and said, it wasn't the person who was in the room with me. Y'all, I'm paraphrasing. It wasn't, I don't remember exactly what she said, but basically, Mel indirectly cleared Stormy's name. She said it wasn't the person who was in the room with me, right? Betty felt some type of way because she said it was an ambiguous statement. She felt like Mel had the power to get the fans to get off of Stormy's back, and Mel didn't do that. She felt like Mel intentionally allowed people to speculate whether or not it was Stormy, which I'm like, okay, fair. But I can't. Always leave your mama at home unless you were taking her to the grocery store or Marshall's. I agree. That's right. Or the beauty supply store for some damn pump it up spray. If we talking about some of the mamas on these shows. But yeah. Anyway, Mel just listens to what she says. And hold on. Miss Mocha says, didn't Mel flat out say that someone secretly recorded her? I do not remember that. Friends, comment below and answer this question for Miss Mocha. I don't remember Mel saying that someone secretly recorded her. I remember Mel allowing fans to say that. And then eventually she followed up and was like, it wasn't the person who was in the room. But Mel was ambiguous about that situation. Mel was very, alluding to a lot of nothing. Jada says yes. Jada says yes, she did. Okay. Well, I'll say this, y'all. I understand where Miss Betty is coming from, but y'all know what I'm about to say, right? I'm here to tell y'all that I don't give a fuck. That's just how it goes. I understand what Miss Betty is saying, but the reason why I do not care is because that should have been a conversation between Stormy and Mel. Stormy and Mel have already talked one-on-one before that. That should have been a conversation for them. I hate, and I might be reaching to some people, but I hate whenever people place the dynamic of the villain on the person who they know has more social power. They know that Mel has more social power. So you felt like it was Mel's responsibility to clear Stormy's name. And in that situation, you wanted to make Stormy a victim. I don't know if I'm just disconnected from this, because whenever that whole situation came out about somebody recording her, I thought to myself, like, it could have been Stormy, but also, why would it be Stormy when Mel has said this so many times before? I don't understand where all this whole situation came from. I don't really know. I don't think that Stormy got that much hate on the internet, and if she did, I must have not been online that day. But it was never that deep to me. And the way that it was brought up on the show, I just didn't like it. And this is the comment from me. Harold says Betty felt Betty felt away long before that anyway. Exactly. Black, Educated, and Pretty says, I thought they cleared it up at Kimmy party. And then Tanisha says, Destiny said that she was handed the recording by production to play for Martell during their scene. Production ain't shit. Exactly. That's why I didn't care. And Miss Mocha, I agree 1,000%. Betty has never seen it from Mel ever. I think Betty made it her issue because she doesn't like Mel. Exactly. So I'm kind of just like, whatever. At the end of the day, it's like, I don't know what the fuck is going on between Mel and Stormy. Because y'all, I can see it both ways. But the thing I have an issue with is your mama having to involve herself in your personal affairs. That's why I don't understand. I guess I'm gonna have to go back and refresh myself on that tweet, but I would not be surprised if Mel speculated whether or not Stormy recorded her. I wouldn't be surprised because everybody else on this show has done her dirty. So I'm kind of just like, come on. Yes, my kid, that's correct. My kid says, is this the same recording Destiny had that was a Shade Room interview or something like that? That's exactly what it was. It was an interview. She said it multiple times. I believe when we interviewed Mel back in like the summer of 2021, Mel said the same thing when we talked to her. So that's why, to me, it had never been that deep, because I'm like, why are we doing all this, right? So let's move on, y'all. Hold on. Mel ends up apologizing about the tweet. And she says, if you're offended by a tweet that I made, I want to apologize. And Betty says, it wasn't just a tweet. It's how you do things. I got something for you. Now shut up. And when she said, now shut up, I was like, okay, Wanda. Okay, pump it up and bingo chips. I can't. Like, why are we doing this again? Y'all? I don't understand. And this is the thing. I don't dislike Stormy. I really don't. Stormy seems really cool. She does. But what I'm going to tell you right now, Stormy, is I don't think that you should bring your mama on this show. I don't think you should bring your mama on this show, because your mom is going to do and say a lot of things that will not end up being in your favor. And because your mama is a part of the storyline, the people who review this show and watch the show and tweet about the show are going to have to comment about your mama. I don't want to comment about your mama. I don't. I don't. So yeah, I'm gonna leave it at that. That's just my point of view. That's just my point of view. All right. So yeah, Mel ends up apologizing again. Yeah, exactly. Editing. Again, editing. Editing was off. It didn't make no sense. It didn't make no sense, but okay. So y'all, now we move on to Kiki. Kiki wants to get something off her chest, and Kiki says that she wants to address the lies. And this is what I have to say, y'all. Kiki is full of shit. Kiki, didn't nobody lie on you. You came on this show and you halfway showed your black ass. You didn't really show it because you didn't reveal anything that you knew about your cousin that you claim you knew. But you did show your ass because you were willing to act like you knew stuff in order to secure your spot on the show. You did that. You did that. None of that was a lie. Didn't none of these people lie on you? So I'm not understanding what she's talking about whenever she's saying that she wants to address the lies. But anyway, let's move on. Tiffany says how she felt. Tiffany says, I felt like, I'm not in community with you. If I saw you treat Tisha this way, it would make me not want to be close to you. And I said that you've always been introduced to this group as somebody's friend and not Tisha's cousin. You should always be her cousin first and then somebody's friend second. Now, y'all, to me, that sounds like an issue with editing and whatever was communicated to editing. I'm sure that Kiki, that one season where her and Tisha fell out, she introduced herself as Mel's friend. I know exactly what they're referring to. They're referring to the way that she was brought in on this show initially as Tisha's cousin, and then secondly was brought on this show as Mel's friend, because I remember when they showed it and I was like, Mel's friend, come on. And that's what Tiffany is referring to. So let's talk about this, right? Let's talk about this read. Let's talk about this fake beef that we don't care about. Let's talk about junior high school, middle school housewives argument that we saw between the two of them. So Tiffany says, I know of you to Kiki. And Kiki says, oh, you poor, pitiful, sad soul. Now let me educate you. She was trying to get Phaedra Parks, y'all. Let me educate you on knowing of someone and knowing someone. My kid has played on da-da-da-da. My in-laws. I saw you here. I saw you there. Da-da-da. You don't know of me. You know me. I went on an entire crusade to help you find your father. And y'all, this is what I'm talking about. When I say she was trying to give a Phaedra Parks read, whenever Phaedra reads, it's a monologue. And then the person typically never responds because at that point, that one time, she done snatched her edges, right? Or nobody says anything, right? So she was trying to get Phaedra Parks read. When she said, poor, pitiful, sad soul, I was like, okay, Phaedra. When she said, on a crusade to help you find your father, okay, Phaedra. Kiki, there wasn't no damn crusade. You didn't go all the way to Utah, Alabama to help this woman find her father. You met up for a scene because you wanted to be on the fucking show. You wanted to be on the show. You didn't do shit to help Tiffany find her father. You told her that you knew of someone who was from Utah and that you could connect them. You never did. Because why? You wanted to be on the damn show for a scene. And that's what it was. And then Kiki ends up saying, and yes, for the record, I've always known who my father was. And then everybody says, whoa, you shouldn't have said that. That was a low blow. You shouldn't have said that, blah, 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 blah. Okay, exactly. As soon as you try to convince someone they know you already losing. Don't we know? Y'all ain't learned from Phaedra and Nene Leakes. Yes, because you went to high school with my oldest brother. Y'all don't remember that? Y'all don't remember when Phaedra came on the show and tried to say she know Nene, and Nene played her like, girl, I don't know you. I don't know you. I don't know her. Y'all don't know? Mariah and J-Lo ain't told y'all enough. And Kiki, you coming on the show trying to prove that you know somebody. Like, it was giving reads, okay? It was giving all the reality TV shows that you had in the back of your mind, and you hopped on TV show and started performing. So Kimmy was like, that was a low blow. You shouldn't have said that about her dad. And Kiki's like, what? No, I didn't mean that. I know I wasn't trying to come for her at all. That wasn't shade. That's just what I meant. Blah, 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 blah. Yes, Harold. I'm 43 to be exact. Actually, I just turned 43. Right. That's what it was giving. So anyway, y'all, Kiki was just looking for a moment. And then whenever she said that nasty ass below the belt ass shit, she didn't want to stand on it. And y'all know how I feel. If you're gonna say something, say it with your chest. Say it with your chest. I'm just like, I cannot. Thank you so much. And Tiffany was just quiet. And yes, Tisha also was quiet, right? Tisha was quiet when Kiki said that to insult Lewis's wife. Yeah, Miss Carol jumps in and says, you shouldn't have said that about, at least you know who your father was. And she was like, I didn't mean that. And I apologize, Tiffany. And it was given again, Real Housewives. You don't want to stand on your shit. It was given Real Housewives season 14 reunion. As soon as somebody say boo, you apologizing. And that's how I know. And that's why I'm calling this a junior high Housewives read. So y'all, that was pretty much it for the episode. But what we gonna see next week is, it seems as though Tiffany is gonna get caught up low-key doing something shady or saying something shady about Tisha. And Kiki is gonna be rejoicing, okay? So y'all, this is not it. Remember I told y'all we got 2 shows to talk about. We're going to talk about Real Housewives of Atlanta after this. I hope y'all enjoyed the Love and Marriage Huntsville review so far, but stay on the line because we're going to have a back-to-back. But I'm going to keep it on one link. So that way y'all ain't got to start over and go to my page and fall off and check your notifications for something else. Don't leave. Sit tight. Keep your seat warm. So let me go ahead and read a couple of y'all's comments, and then we will move on to Real Housewives of Atlanta. Okay. Let's see. Callie Girl says, nothing is below the belt if you come for me first. Tiffany, stay in your lane. I think it's absolutely below the belt, Callie Girl. Just because by Tiffany saying to her, I wouldn't want to be cool with you because of the way you treated your cousin on the show, I don't think that that's necessarily coming for her. Kiki did that shit. Tiffany didn't make none of that up. And if Tiffany don't fuck with Kiki, she just don't fuck with Kiki. And I think that's where it should have ended. What gets me is that Kiki is hell-bent on trying to make it seem like everybody is a liar. Nobody lied on you, Kiki. And you're continuing to keep this beef going. I'm just like, girl. So I think that was absolutely below the belt because it didn't have to go there at all. A bitch stay winning says, are you going to be doing College Hill Celebrity Edition? I don't think so. I'm watching College Hill Celebrity Edition. I watched the first 2 episodes, but I don't think I'm going to be talking about that. And then Jada Necey, you're not doing Summer House. At the beginning of the video, I let y'all know this week has been hectic, so I was only able to watch Real Housewives of Atlanta and Love and Marriage Huntsville. And I didn't want to keep y'all waiting a whole nother day and not giving a review until Wednesday just for Summer House. And I know these are the 2 main shows that y'all want to talk about. So I'll probably get back on the Summer House next week. And then Key Stay Splashing says, Kiki saying it proves Tiffany right, though. That's exactly what I agree with. Kiki saying the below the belt ass shit proved Tiffany's point. I agree. And then Simply Eva says, I had to rewind, like, who asked if you knew your daddy, Kiki? Low blow. Exactly. They must have edited it out or what, but I don't think nobody asked her that. I'm like, what is going on? Ray all day says, do you think Tiffany should be excused from receiving the smoke from the ladies? No, I don't. I don't think she should be excused from receiving the smoke, but I'm gonna let y'all know, as far as what I've seen this season, I don't think that Tiffany has done enough for her and Kiki to be a topic from episode to episode, because it's kind of one of them things that, to be frank, I don't really give a fuck about. I don't really care. I just, don't understand why it's a well, let me not be play dumb. I know why it's a continued topic. It's because everybody want to secure their spot on the damn show. That's exactly why. And then Tiffany says Kiki need to keep that same energy for Kiki. Exactly. Kiki's not gonna keep that same energy. She need to keep it for Stormy. Harold says it was below the belt, but Tiffany had it coming. It was Kiki acting like she didn't mean it as a dig that was annoying everybody. Okay, exactly. When y'all say Tiffany had it coming, y'all, I understand because y'all know Tiffany pissed me off from the minute she jumped on this show. Y'all know that. Y'all know that Tiffany playing dumb. Tiffany kind of give you that white woman messy tease that I don't really care for. But starting over, based on the dynamics we see this season, I don't think that Tiffany has done anything for me to want all the shit that she's done previously to catch up to her. I don't think so. Like, I'm kind of just like, it's whatever. Let's see. Yeah, for real, Pooh. Pooh says, I think they chop up some scenes for real. They chop up a lot of scenes. A lot of scenes. Okay, y'all. So now, y'all, we need to get into Real Housewives of Atlanta. But before we do, I need y'all to go ahead and do me a favor and like the video. All right, y'all. It's time to talk about Real Housewives of Atlanta, season 15, episode 2. And this episode, where we at? This episode starts where it ended last week. We still at the birthday party. I'm arguing with you because you bringing a gift to my birthday party. You tell me you can bring gifts to my motherfucking birthday party. I hope y'all know what I'm referencing. But anyway, yes, we at the birthday party and the girls are arguing. Let's talk about Candy real quick. We see Candy, and Candy ends up walking away from Courtney. She ended up walking away before she ended up blowing up on your ass. You know what I'm quoting. But yeah, she had to walk away before she ended up blowing up on her ass. And she needed her to bring it on down. And I just loved how Todd was kind of just standing there, letting her get her scene out. But he also was standing there like, okay, if I got to grab my wife from having to put her hands on her, I'm going to grab her, but I'm going to give her enough space to say what she got to say and do what she got to do. And whenever Candy walks away, you see Don Juan come over, you see another friend come over, and Don Juan is like, oh, well, that makes sense. If she's Sheree's friend, that's why she's coming for you. And it makes sense because that's why Sheree's a hater. Sheree's a hater. Y'all, nothing good will come for those who hate the way that, what's that girl name? Marlo. Y'all, all these Martell, Maurice, Marceau, my mouth is stuck at the sound. But the way that Martell, the way that Marlo and Sheree hate on Candy, y'all, nothing good will ever come from it. I'm just like, come on. So anyway, we move on from that and we get back to Kenya and Sheree. Kenya ends up telling Sheree that Martell DM'd her at least 6 months ago. And Mayetta is asking Martell, okay, so when you come to Atlanta, you're only with Sheree? And he's like, yeah, it's nobody else. I'm only with Sheree the whole time I'm here. And Mayetta says, oh, so there's no one else anymore. And he says, there was never anyone else. Mayetta makes a face. Clearly, it's kind of given Mayetta personally knows the girl who he was talking to just because of her confidence in saying that to him. But yeah, let's move on. We move on to the ladies. They huddle after this whole interaction. And Kenya ends up pulling up the message from Martell. Now, remember, y'all, in episode 1, what was it? Okay, so remember, y'all, in episode 1, Kenya was with Candy and Mayetta, and she pulled up the DM from Martell, but she hadn't accepted the message yet. When she did accept the message, all the messages were erased. So this is what I'm a little bit confused about, y'all. Help me understand. This is a brainstorming session. So let me recap. Episode 1, Kenya showed the messages to Candy and Mayetta. She hadn't accepted the message yet. When she hit accept on her end, all the messages were deleted. However, we get down to the birthday party. Martell pulls up his DM. And when Martell pulls up his DM, the message said, "Thank you for your kind words on Carlos's podcast." And that was the only message that he had. So this is what I want to brainstorm with y'all about. How is it that all of Kenya's messages are deleted, but Martell still has one message? And I'm going to tell y'all how. Oh, fuck. Maybe that's not it. Love the confidence from me. But I told y'all that it was a brainstorming session. So this is what I was initially going to say, y'all. The only way that would be possible is if Kenya deleted certain messages or all messages and Martell deleted select messages. That's the only way that that's possible. But the only reason why I said, oh, fuck, that might not be right is because we saw Kenya accept the message. So we know that that's not true. That theory can't be right because Kenya accepted the message. Some people are saying it's Necey says it was a screenshot that he pulled up. B Stoke says, why would he even screenshot a conversation that went nowhere? T says it's a screenshot. Y'all, I'm just so confused, y'all, because that makes sense. That's it. That's exactly what y'all saying. That's it. I love it here. I love it here, friends. I'm loving that we can brainstorm this. T says Martell deleted all of them, but he screenshotted the one. Harold says that ninja deleted what he sent in the past 6 months or so before he showed everybody his DM. Miss Cookie Ray says that ninja ain't slick. He deleted the other messages. She hadn't accepted them before show taping. Now, y'all, this is the thing that I'm confused about. I don't understand. The only answer has to be that he kept a screenshot. That's the only answer. That's what we're gonna go with. That's the only possible thing, is that he showed everybody a screenshot. But the thing is, y'all, there was like 8 people in that room. And I find it hard to believe that Martell Holt, who ain't got no builder's license, is able to show everybody a screenshot and nobody questioned whether or not it's a screenshot or a live message. We're talking about Martell Holt, who does not have a builder's license, you guys. I don't know. We'll have to see. And y'all, the other thing I want to say is, initially, when I heard this situation, I thought that Kenya was possibly hiding something. But then I thought about how back in like season, what was it? Long ass time ago, whenever Phaedra kept trying to call Kenya a hoe because she got thrown into the pool by Apollo. And Apollo kept trying to make it seem like Kenya was talking to him. I didn't believe Kenya then. But come to find out, she's telling the truth. So in this situation, y'all, I'm going to stick by Kenya. But it's a mystery as to what some of the messages were. Somebody update me on to speak on it. Love 21125 says, did you watch Candy speak on it? She showed how it happened. Y'all tell me what she said. Y'all know I don't do YouTube full time. My time be limited. I can't watch the show and all these reviews after. It's too much. And the other thing that I try to avoid is I try to avoid reviews of the show before I make my review, because I don't want to impose somebody else's opinion like on y'all and have that in the back of my mind. But y'all let me know. Okay, so anyway, things start blowing up. And Martell ends up saying to Kenya, I don't care if I was trying to fuck you 2 years ago. Why are you talking about it? And he ends up walking away. And I was just like, wow, for real? And then, not only that, he says, she probably answered everybody's DM. And he essentially called her a hoe. So I completely understand why Kenya gets upset. However, y'all, I'm about to tell y'all this because I remember how I felt last season whenever Kenya sat up there and called Ralph aggressive. I said Ralph. See, here I go. Ross. Let me get it right. She called Ross aggressive. To me, y'all, I felt two ways about it. I felt like Ross shouldn't have been getting in women's business, right? But I also felt like aggressive was the wrong word for Kenya to say. Now that we're in this situation, the way that Kenya laughed and said, "Ha, Martell, you're aggressive," it triggered me. It did. Because she tried to laugh about it like it was a joke. But when she said you're aggressive, it was almost as if she knew exactly what the hell she was doing. You knew what she was doing. Um, at that point, I didn't think that Martell had done anything to be aggressive. Kenya, you definitely brought up the situation. You definitely wanted that smoke. Um, but let's be for real. I don't think that she should have gotten smoke from a man who didn't do anything wrong. And when I say that, I don't mean Martell didn't do anything wrong. I mean Martell was guilty of something, and that's why he was acting like that. But yeah, what Kenya's comments was passive aggressive, and this is one of those things, y'all, where like if y'all want me to have a flat out opinion on the matter, I can't have a one way opinion on this matter because one, you will never see me going up for Martell. I don't think you'll ever see me going up for Martell. We know that Martell has a history of being aggressive with women. We just seen him do it at the birthday party. So I wouldn't be surprised if things were edited out that was aggressive. I get it. And if y'all watch both shows, we saw him yelling in Mel's mama's face. So much so I would have had some man turn up on him because it was disrespectful. So yes, I know that Martell has a history of being aggressive. We seen him do that to Mel when they was in Vegas on the birthday trip, right? But I also feel as though Kenya kind of pulled a Giselle. She pulled a Giselle. Like you used the word aggressive before it even got there, and it was almost as though you just wanted people to kind of be on the lookout for you. But it made sense when it came full circle. And when it came full circle, Kenya ends up telling Sheree later on in the episode that she felt like she was the only one sticking up for herself because everybody else around them had men. So Kenya knew what she was doing, y'all, when she used the word aggressive. I think Kenya wanted to prematurely make herself a victim in that situation because she knew she was a single woman and she didn't want to go toe to toe with a man. But okay. So Kenya ends up telling Sheree that Martell is displaying the same behavior as Bob, i.e., whenever Bob, trigger warning, said that he did not choke Sheree hard enough. And then Kenya ends up telling Martell that he's a piece of shit and that he's going to do the same thing to Sheree that he did to his ex-wife. And basically, she don't respect him. So let's move on from that because I'm kind of like, I don't really want to talk about Martell on the show. Y'all hear the enthusiasm in my voice just going, because I don't want to talk about this man on this show, but I guess that's what we got to do because Sheree trying to get checked. So we see Drew and Ralph. Drew and Ralph claim that they're in the best place they've ever been. Drew is releasing her single called Already Know. It's a cute little, manufactured song. When I say manufactured, I mean it's not like extremely unique, but it's not a bad song. Drew can actually sing. And Ralph is the writer and producer of the song. So he's still finding ways to make money off of Drew, right? Same way he, I think, released that book about being a stepfather. for a child that he never adopted. And now it makes perfect sense that he never adopted the child because they're getting a divorce. So now I don't know how that works. If I have any lawyers in the chat, let me know. But lawyers, if he never adopted her son, does he owe child support on that son? I wouldn't think so, but let me know. That would make sense as to why he didn't adopt the child. Okay, so we move on to Kandi and Sonya. We find out that Kandi and Sonya has gotten closer in between the seasons, and they start talking about Courtney. And here go messy ass Sonya, okay? Four-time Olympic gold medalist, 2-season housewife. I kept calling her 1-season housewife. She's back for a 2nd season, 2-season housewife. And she wants to spill the tea. She was like, yeah, Courtney was over there talking about you. And she said that, you shared somebody's event for something and the whole hood came out. And Kandi was like, okay, but what did you say? And when Kandi said that, I was like, yes, Kandi, peep the fakeness. Ask her what she said, okay? What's the quote? I got to get this quote. I can't. Let me find it. Y'all know it's the Martin Luther King quote. Martin Luther King quote about friends. Okay, here we go. In the end, we will remember not the words of our enemies, but the silence of our friends. And that's what Kandi knew. That's why she said to Sonya, what did you say, right? And she says, well, I told her Kandi is my friend, and if you have an issue, then I think you should talk to her about it. Y'all, they run the tapes back and Sonya was laughing and giggling with her. And I'm like, come on, right? So Sonya ends up just laughing. And then Sonya in her confessional was like, well, she wasn't calling Kandi ghetto. She said your followers are ghetto. And my thing is this, Sonya, you only brought the shit to her initially because you thought that she was calling her ghetto. Like, that's the way that you kind of framed the story. If you felt like it was non-offensive to Kandi, then why even bring it up in the first place? But it's all good because Kandi is clocking you for how you operate. So I'm like, okay, cool. Next, y'all, we move on to Akilah and Kenya. Akilah is a friend of Kenya. She's a wag. And then we move on to a scene with Sheree and Sonya. So these are basically 2 parallel scenes, and they're talking about the same thing. They're both recapping the Martell situation. And Sheree, she says that her point is that both Martell and Sheree is wrong. And y'all, she gonna stick beside them. Look at my notes. I said Sheree's point is they're both wrong. Bitch, she gonna stick beside them. I really be in my notes talking to myself. Sheree's point is they're both wrong. Bitch, she gonna stick beside them. That's all it was. Sheree's point was, okay, well, you're saying that you're a queen. Well, Martell's a king too. You shouldn't have talked to him like that. How can you come for somebody and not expect them to come back? And I feel no ways when it comes to the DMs. I don't. When it comes to the DM situation with Kimmy and Martell, I don't feel no ways. It's one of those situations where I don't give a fuck, y'all. But one of the things that I do want to comment on is the way that Sheree would have went up for this man, even if he did, do more than that, because she was going to stick beside him because she wanted a man. And it's just so funny to me that they keep replaying that clip of her waiting on Tyrone. You got me out here looking stupid as fuck, dumb as fuck. Yeah. And you still looking like that. And you still looking like that. And you still looking like that. But this time it's behind Martell and he ain't even got no damn builder's license. So you still looking like that, Sheree. I'm like, girl, do better. So we go back to the studio. We see Ralph and Drew making music. Drew ends up telling us about her father who has dementia. I'm sure she's going through a lot. But what's crazy to me is that Ralph still showed his ass up at that damn birthday party and basically said, fuck Drew. So I guess we're going to see that relationship fall apart right in front of our faces. And finally, y'all, we are down to the She by Sheree warehouse. We at the She by Sheree warehouse. We went in a fucking She by Sheree warehouse, y'all. Y'all seen the ladies who was packing the stuff had a t-shirt on that was advertising their business. This is rental space for something. I don't know what you're doing, but this is definitely giving third party. I understand why the people are calling it She by Shein. This is She by DH Gate, She by AliExpress, MOQ 100 for your custom unique tag, and that's exactly what Sheree did. But let's go ahead and act like we at the She by Sheree warehouse. So Kenya comes in, and Kenya is talking about how she recently filmed a commercial with Teresa from Real Housewives of New York, how she saw Dak Prescott, and she said, that is a good-looking man. And I remember people were spreading rumors that they were dating. Scotty called it She by She with. Shout out to Scotty by Nature. That's funny. But anyway, Kenya, they end up talking about the DMs, and Kenya says that she never responded back to Martell because she saw the way that he treated Mel on the show, and she was disgusted, and she would never talk to anybody like that, right? She said, I don't know him, and I don't want to get to know him. And Sheree's like, no, but you don't understand, but this, right? And, Kenya ends up saying bros before hoes. And Sheree's like, what? They make a joke out of it. They laugh, even though they really beefing, right? And Sheree says that she feels like they ambushed Martell. And then this is the thing, y'all. Kenya, again, with these trigger words. Kenya says that Martell should not be abusive. But he shouldn't be abusive, Sheree, is what she says. And I was like, what's going on? What's going on, y'all? I want to know. I don't want to go up for Martell, but unless they edited some shit out, okay? This is the thing. I'm trying to be very, what is it called? Objective of like what we saw versus what I know. On one hand, I believe Kenya 100%. I believe Martell does have abusive ass qualities. He does, right? And I think that those are qualities that Sheree is not looking out for. But what we saw on this show was not that. I'm trying to figure out which part was abusive. Kenya said that her issue was whenever he said that she probably responded to everybody DMs. That's not abusive, Kenya. When he said, I don't care if I try to fuck you a year ago, that's not abusive, Kenya. So I just don't understand. But I guess the reason why I'm so confused is because Kenya is judging him through the lens of the other TV show, which can make it difficult for us to have discussions about, which is why I feel like Martell should not be on the show. It's so difficult for us to have a conversation about the matter at hand, what we saw on our TV screens, because we've also seen this man in different environments actually display abusive ass behaviors. So I hate whenever, I feel like I'm talking out of two sides of my damn neck, and it just don't make no sense. I'm just like, come on, right? So anyway, Kenya says that Sheree still hasn't learned that that's a sign of abuse. And this is whenever Kenya says at the end, everybody had a man and she felt like she was standing up for herself. So that's my point of view. Kenya was already dog whistling because she knew that she was getting drama stirred up. She knew that this man was going to get upset. And she knew that she also was a single woman without a man there to defend her bullshit. That's just what it was. So I think that she was just trying to dog whistle. And yes, two things can be true at the same time. Martell's whole comments were inappropriate and disrespectful, but not abusive. I agree 100%, J-Dub. And Donna Clay says it was verbal. I don't even believe it was verbal abuse. I don't even believe it was verbal abuse. He didn't call her out her name. I don't believe it was. But who knows, right? But yeah, it was just like the last season with Ross. So yeah, y'all, I agree with Pacino. It really was a bad idea to have him on both shows. But that's all I got for Real Housewives of Atlanta, y'all. I ain't got nothing else. We have been on for 1 hour and 15 minutes. I will try to watch Martha's Vineyard this week, and then hopefully next week we can jump back on with that as the pregame, because I heard episode 2 of Martha's Vineyard was actually really, really good. And if you haven't had a chance to check it out, please do and catch up. Catch up so we can talk about it, okay? But that's pretty much all I have, y'all. I hope y'all enjoyed the video. I hope that y'all shared it with your friend. And if you haven't subscribed, be sure to subscribe, hit the like button, and I will see y'all in the next video. This week, we will have another episode of Ooh Ladies First Panel. We're going to be on Bondi Blue channel. Is it Bondi? No, we was on Bonnie's channel last week. We're going to be on Jamie That's Me's channel, okay? But shout out to Bondi because she just hit 100,000. But yeah, we're going to be on Jamie's channel this week. So head over there on Thursday if you want to hear a conversation between me, Jamie, and Bondi. We're going to talk about all the stuff y'all want to talk about. We're going to talk about this show again. So leave your comments over there, okay? Like, comment, subscribe, and I will see y'all in the next video. Bye.